Guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm back here with another one, and the last time I did a video was a really sad one about my dog pretty much passing away and just talking about it and all that stuff. But I am feeling better. I am still really missing her. It's just, my house feels really quiet and really just empty, you know? And I feel like something is like missing, and it's like, it's hard, but like, day by day, I'm getting better. So like, I feel like I'm not the same without her, but like, I feel like it's just, I'll get over that. It's hard, but like, I'll get used to it, So yeah, I do remember when I think a couple days after I did the video, I started crying because I came home, and I'm so used to hearing my dog like start barking when someone's at the door, and I was at the door, I was coming in, and then when I came in, I realized, there's no one there, and like I'm not hearing her barks or anything like that, so I just started crying. So, because I'm like, I'm never gonna hear her voice again until it's her, So it's hard, but I am getting over it. I'm getting over, like, I pretty much can over like the I pretty much went over with you guys, but I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better day by day. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here about something else. I'm here to talk about something else. So I wanted to talk about something that I was like realizing, like, when I feel like this was like I feel like a couple months ago, or even a few months ago maybe, but I haven't had the time to talk about this because I was like, oh my gosh, like, why don't I have the time to talk about this? But I really just, I was like, wow, this is really true. But I realized, because there's a lot of times when I do things during the day, or like, doing chores or whatever, or just doing something, just random, just really, I'm on my computer, I'm like watching, not really watching videos, but like, on my computer, I'm like doing something on my computer, like writing, or like, like doing chores or whatever, and like it's really random spurts of like just, I don't know, just sporadic moments of like what's going on. So it just a really random moments it feels like I'm gonna get depressed, but I'm like, I'm not really depressed. It's just my thoughts, It's like, why am I like feeling depressed kind of right now? So, and I realized that it's just, it's just my feelings. It's just my thoughts. It's just my emotions. Like, this is not me. This is not like who I identify with, or like, this is not my identity. My identity is in Christ. I don't believe that my identity is depression. Depression is just a feeling or some emotions that I feel like deep emotions that you have, that you experience, and they're very real, but like, it's not you. So that's the first thing I realized, is that that's not you. And the reason I say that is because, like, for example, like when I'm cleaning or whatever, like I'm doing chores, like for some random reason, I get like these depressive thoughts in my head. And I'm like, why am I getting these depressive thoughts in my head? Like, why? Like, I don't have anything. I'm not crying. I'm not doing anything. I am just doing chores. And for some random reason, I get these depressive thoughts in my head, and I just cast it aside. I ignore it. And I'm like, you know what? This is not me. This is not the moment to deal with that, I'm just like, why is it right now when I'm just cleaning? Like, I'm just doing this certain thing, and it pops up in my head. Like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm realizing now at my 30s, like, okay, depression is not me. Like, it's not me. It's just something that I'm feeling inside my head, or some emotions, or like feelings that, some thoughts that I get like randomly, at certain moments when I'm doing daily tasks. Like, it's just so random. It's so random. And I'm like, why does it happen at the time where I'm like not even like idly just doing nothing? It's just when I'm doing something, it's like really at that time. And I'm like, that is so weird. Like, that is, why do I get those thoughts right when I'm doing something? And like, I don't think it's the devil. I don't think it's the devil. I just think it's just random thoughts coming to my head. And it's just really just, I don't know. It's just, it's funny, but also not funny at the same time. Because it's just, I don't know. It's just so random. It really is it's so random. And I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's a serious topic, but it is kind of funny that it just hops up at a random moment in time, and it's silly. So that's just something that I'm like, why is it happening right when I'm doing this? Like, it's not the time. This is not the time to do this, to deal with this. But I'm like, you know what? I ain't even telling my mom. I'm like, you know what? This is not me. Like, I'm realizing now in my early 30s, like, this is not me. This is not who I identify with. This is not my identity. These are just feelings, thoughts, and the emotions that I receive, that I get in my mind. And it's just like, you know what? This is not me. I'm just gonna cast it aside, ignore it, and just, ignore it. Because it's not me. It's not who I identify with. And knowing that a lot of there's a very high teen suicide rate, and also like young adult suicide rate, and I feel like it's because we don't know what we're doing. And I think that as a 30-year-old, or I guess 31-year-old, I can say that is that we don't know what we're doing. Is like, because we're just cast out, and we're just expected to know what to do, And as millennials, like back then in the 80s or 90s, like when you're 18, you moved out, whatever, and you're off on your own, right? But now millennials are like me, are kind of just staying with their parents, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I feel like it's fine. I don't think there's anything bad about it. I feel like at a certain age we're supposed to move out. I think that's true. And that's, I feel like that when we're ready to move out and we're financially stable, we move out. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, nowadays that's happening. But also, I feel like the young adult rate and teen rate are high because of this same thing, is that we don't know. One is depression, obviously, and then also mental disorder. I think that's the main two things that cause it, is that. But also, I feel like it's sometimes we're like, we don't know what we're doing. We just don't know. I felt like that when I'm in my 20s. It was like, I have no idea what I'm doing in my 20s. Like, absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do. Like, literally, like, you're just cast up into college. Like, you're just going into college. Like, you just go to college and you're like, okay, now what do I do? And it's like, you have this anxiety of like, okay, what am I gonna do now? And it's like a lot. I see a lot. Not everyone goes through this, but people do go through this, and it's just it's sad. And that this was the same thing for me. It's like, okay, now what do I do? Like, why am I'm expected to go to college, but now, like, what do I do? And I feel like college nowadays is a scam, because like, you have to go to this like really expensive 6-figure university, and you get a paper degree that is like this, and then you are expected to get a job, and you don't get a job. It's hard to get a job nowadays, and it's hard to start a career nowadays, because because of economy, because of certain things with unemployment, and you're expected to know what to do in your 20s, especially in your 20s. It's like, you're expected to know what to do. Like, you're supposed to graduate high school. You're supposed to have your driver's license. You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to, when you graduate college, you're supposed to have a job, like, get a career, all that stuff. You're just supposed to, like, I'll do all stuff. But I'm like, okay, so after that, what do you do? Like, right? So like, I feel like that's why a lot of teens and young adults are feeling that. I feel feeling that way. I'm anxious, and they're just very just. I don't want to say it in an offensive way, but clueless. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was me. I was in my 20s. I was clueless as to what I was gonna do. I was absolutely clueless. Even in high school, I was like, what am I gonna do, like, after high school? Um, because it's a very intense time. It's a very just, anxious time. Like, you just get anxious. And you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're gonna do. Like that's thing. I feel like that's the thing that mostly happens is like we don't know what we're doing. We just don't know what we're doing, and I feel like that's what I realized that like a couple months ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no clue what I was doing. I was even crying at that time when I was realizing that. I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was doing because I was like, I had no guidance. I had no guidance. I have absolutely no guidance. Um, I know, when your parents like trying to give you advice and and give you guidance, you really don't listen to them. And it's like, you're just trying to figure it out yourself, and you're not really listening to your parents because your parents, you think they're just stricklers, and you know, they just tell you what to do, but you don't really do it because they're just your parents. You don't want to listen to them. So I was just like, wow, I really, truly didn't know what I was doing. So, but I'm actually thankful, and I actually wanna. I feel like I'm gonna cry right now, but I actually am thankful that I found God when I was like 25, because I was like, oh my gosh, like God really, really gave me like a wake up call, and like no pun intended, I guess, because of my channel, I say wake up call, but like I truly had no idea what I was doing. Like I had no idea, even like as a Christian, like I'm like wow, like some things that I maybe I'm like cringed out when I see some videos of mine that I did when back then, like maybe 4 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, cringy as heck. But okay, and then like even then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the time, most people like they don't know what they're doing. We don't know what we're doing. So, but now in my 30s, I'm like, okay, I see clearer now. I see clearer. Like my vision is a lot more clear, a lot more. There's less obstacles in the way. Um, there's it's clear now. Like it's like a road, and then in 20s you're just basically just starting off life right out of high school, fresh out of high school, and you're like, okay, now what do I do? So like now you have to start this path, and then you're like, okay, where do I go now? So it's like it's very like confusing. Like where do you go? Where do you navigate? But now in your 30s, it's like a lot more clear because you have more experience in life, and so I think that that's why a lot of people in their 20s and then people also in their teens are committing, suicide. I don't want to say the word, but pretty much committing suicide, the big S word, because they're just they feel hopeless. They feel really anxious and like just clueless as to what they're gonna do because like their parents expect them to just graduate high school and go to college and just graduate and get a job, but like a lot of people are like, that's just not me. I have more worth than that, just than just having a career. Like it's just So I also want to say this because like there's a phrase that Jesus said is that don't worry about what tomorrow or what tomorrow holds. Like just worry about today, worry about the present. And that is so true. And I feel like a lot of us like are like anxious, and that's why I show a lot with anxiety. And I also had a lot of anxiety attacks when had depression. I didn't tell you guys, but I did have a lot of anxiety attacks. I could barely breathe when had like massive anxiety attacks. It's like I couldn't breathe. It was kind of like an asthma attack for me. Because I could barely breathe out. I was like really anxious. If you get anxious, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Worry about what we can do today. It's always day by day. It's always what you can do today, because tomorrow we don't know what's gonna happen. Tomorrow, for all we can know, we can be wiped out the face of the earth, and it's just you never know where it's gonna happen. Like if you're in college and like worried about your exam or whatever, like just do your best, and like all you can do is just that's all you can do is just try your best today, and tomorrow like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you just you know you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You just never know. For all we know, we can pass away or whatever. And I think that's a really big um realization that I realized, and a lot of people don't realize, is that tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. We just gotta focus on today and focus on the present. We can't really fix the past or rectify the past. That we can't really do that. There's no other way of going back and fixing our mistakes. I mean, we will have regrets, but like, and we can repent about it, but we can't fix our mistakes. So yeah, I mean, that's really a massive thing that I realized that like you don't know what, like I didn't know what I was doing, and also like I don't know what the future holds. Like tomorrow, I don't know. For all I know, I could pass away tomorrow. Like, knock on wood. But that was funny. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, for all I know, really, because God's in control of my life. He's the one that holds. He's the one that holds the life on my life online. He's the one that says you're here today and gone tomorrow. Like, it's just like he's the one that controls it. Like, really, he's controlling my life. He's controlling all of your life, like your life, anyone's life. Like, he's in control of your life. Like, it's so true. And we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know what tomorrow's gonna happen. Like, what, we don't know. And so I'm actually really thankful that I got saved at 25, because other than that, I most likely would have committed suicide. I'm not gonna lie. I most likely would have I don't know what would have happened, to be honest. I don't know, because at that time, I was really lost spiritually. Like not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, and I was in college. I was in middle of college, and I was really questioning my spiritual path, and what where I was going. And yeah, I mean, I feel like college was just a part of my life, but I wasn't really the main focus of my life, and so it's a good thing, but also a bad thing, I guess. But I at that time I was really focusing like of what was like the path that I was gonna take from there on, because even after I got saved, I had a channel and I turned it into this channel, and um I'm glad that it's blessed me, and I really am thankful to God that He has saved me when I was in a really bad place, um because I wouldn't have known where to go besides that. So yeah, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that I have God, and that I have guidance from the Holy Spirit. I have guidance from the Bible, and the Bible is just a book that it's a spiritual guidance. It's a spiritual guidebook that you read, and it's just, I feel like, just it is another book, but also if you reread it so many times, and if you reread it like long enough, or like however many times you want, like sooner or later it will renew your mind. However many times you read it and reread it and reread it and reread it and reread it, it will renew your mind. It will change your life. It will change your spiritual life. It will make you like just a better person in general. If you just reread it and reread it, I feel like once it really changes your mind and changes your perspective spiritually. But again, I feel like if you reread it how many times you want, like just rereading it, I feel like it does change your mind for the better. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Christian or whatever. It does really change your mind, because back then I was lost, and I did read it. I think I read the NASB back then, and I really like, doesn't matter the version. I'm not gonna debate that, but I really was like changed, because I think I read the Gospels, and then I also read like the book of Joel and the book of Amos or whatever, and I read the Gospels. I was like, oh my gosh, like how come I never read this? Like, it was crazy. But yeah, it was crazy. I was like, how come I never read the Bible? Like, how come my parents never showed me the Bible, or like told me to read the Bible? But yeah, it really changed my life, and I'm glad that it changed my life for the better, because that would have been like, I still would have been lost to this day. So I'm glad I have a guide, at least. And I mean, we're all gonna suffer with anxiety and depression, no matter what, even if we're a Christian, because it's a fallen world, and we're gonna have deal with those emotions and those feelings, because it's our flesh, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen no matter what. But we can pray, we can read the Bible, we can just do all those things, and just read our spiritual guide, because that's really what it is, spiritual guide. Even when you're like feeling sad or like depressed or whatever, like I feel like it's a spiritual guide either way, and it's gonna help you regardless. But having that reminder of just Jesus cares for you, and Jesus loves you, like he loves you beyond any measure, and that, focusing on the present and not the future is just the main thing. I didn't watch a video that was like really, really true, that a lot of us should see our 20s as a kind of like a trial period, or like a trial run.
20s are a waste of time. Like, don't even worry about it. Don't try and get it figured out. Like, the point of your 20s is to try 12 different things and fail at 9 of them. But truthfully, in society right now, you talk to so many college kids and they're so depressed at 2021 because they haven't gotten the perfect internship over the summer, and they're not pre-enrolled in the perfect grad program, and they don't have their job aligned. Now, I know it's hard to make a living out there. It's hard to have a career and make a living. It's much harder than in the 80s and 90s when we were, getting our educations. But nonetheless, if you view the 20s as a workshop stage, then it gives you so you can relax a little bit.
I was like, how things should, how you want things to be, or like how do you, like just a test run, like a test, kind of like a test on like how you want things to go, like what career path you want to take, it should be more like that kind of way, instead of just expecting yourself to have a job and to have a career in your 20s, like right in your 20s, like not like, we really don't know what we're doing in our 20s. We really don't know, because we're really young at that age, and we don't know what we're doing. Like we can't expect ourselves to have a really top tier like career or job like in our 20s. That we're like not, we shouldn't be expecting ourselves. Like I feel like that's really just being hard on ourselves and saying like, I need to, and by 18 or 20, I need to have this really steady job. Like it's just like, it's not really realistic. I think we should be more like, we shouldn't be hard on ourselves. And I think that if we expect ourselves to be perfect, that's just not, you're gonna get anxious really fast. It's like, it's not realistic. And you're gonna have anxiety really soon. Like it's just, being a perfectionist, it actually made me anxious, and it really hard. Like I used to be pretty much like a kind of perfectionist, especially when I used to film videos or edit videos. I was like, this has to be perfect. But no, I cannot say now that it has to be perfect. Like I know I will make mistakes, and I will mess up in everything that I do, because I'm human. Obviously, we can't expect ourselves to be perfectionists, because like it's not realistic. We all make mistakes, we all make errors, and that's just expected. And I don't think that we as humans should expect ourselves to be perfect, because we're not in every way in life. We're not perfect. We shouldn't be perfectionists at all, and we can't be like pretty much OCD control freaks, like perfectionists. Like we're not supposed to be that way, because we're not perfect. And we shouldn't be hard on ourselves. We should be like, just, easy on ourselves, and say, you know what, I can do this, I should do this. Like, if I can do this, I should go for it. If I can't do this, I'll make a way to work on it, but slowly and surely I'll get there. But it's not like the next day or overnight you should be there. But anyway, just to remember, I feel like this also, for me, it just gives me like a lot of relief. It's even with people like that have depression and anxiety, is like knowing that God is with you, and that you should only focus on the present and not focusing on the future, because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen 2 days from now, or a year from now, or 2 months from now. We don't know what's going to happen. So that alone, that verse alone gives me a lot of relief, knowing that, oh my gosh, I know that's It's really true that we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. We don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. That just give me a lot of relief. And just like just gives me this inner peace. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so true. Just relax, you know, just relax. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I can know today that I'm alive, I'm breathing, I can do something that will make me better as a person, like praying or just doing something productive. And I think that alone is really awesome. It's just giving yourself that break, that breath of fresh air is like giving you that break. Is like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to be anxious about anything. God is in control. Like that is just so true. And it's just, I feel like it applies to just your professional life, but also your spiritual life. So it's really, really true. I feel like this video is kind of everywhere, but whatever, I feel like it's fine. And it just gives me like this sense of like relief. It's like, just relax, you know, just relaxing, just knowing that God got it under control regardless, and I'll be fine, you know, because I used to stress a lot when I was in college. I used to stress so much. In fact, I was gonna fail the exam. And I was like really stressing out, like really anxious, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Like, what's gonna happen when I get the results? Or like, you know, if I fail, I fail. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal, you know. It's like, fine. You know, you're not gonna be like homeless tomorrow because you failed the exam. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's just, we gotta just relax. No, God's in control. Whatever it is that happens, God is in control. That's just, I think, the massive thing that I realize is like, I just need to relax. Don't be anxious. Don't be depressed. Just cast those feelings aside. Ignore them. Just don't worry about it. God's got it. God's got it. Like, that just really is a big realization for me. That God's got it regardless. Okay, we can't be anxious. We can't be depressed about a specific thing. Just because it doesn't happen, just because it didn't come true, doesn't mean we're supposed to be just anxious about it, like, or crying about it. We can't just be, you know, it's just, we just gotta relax. We just gotta have this inner peace. Have this inner peace that you're like, it's fine. Everything's under control. We're fine. I'm fine. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm fine. Just relax. And that's just so true, because yeah, it's just the truth. It really is the truth. And I think that experiencing depression, experiencing anxiety helps me realize that, and helps me, after all these years of experiencing depression, just suffering depression, anxiety, after all these years, I'm like, oh my gosh, just now I'm realizing that, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I think that's just based on experience, honestly. I don't think that's because of me. That's because of God, and God has helped me learn a lot through the Holy Spirit and through the Bible, and renewing my mind through the Bible and through, all that stuff. And just realizing, whatever I do, it doesn't really matter, it's whether I have a job or not, it doesn't really matter. If I fail the test or not, it doesn't really matter, So yeah, I think that's it for that, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys, if whoever is suffering with depression, anxiety, I hope this video makes you feel better, makes you feel more relieved, because 20s are just a trial run. They're just like a trial period of just like us testing things out, pretty much. And I think that's how we should see things, is like that way. And I feel like I also think that we should just see it that way. Just see it that way, because 20s, we're not expected. People cannot expect us to just know everything when we graduate high school or when we graduate college. Like, it's just not realistic, So that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe if you guys are new, and click the notification bell for any future videos of mine that I put out in the future, because I know I have been stalling videos lately, but I will try to do more frequent videos, consistent videos. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.